What's up everyone, Hookah Chef back here, and for the second time in a row now, I have another hookah review. This is a hookah from Sahara Smoke. They have been releasing new hookahs like crazy lately, and it seems like they just keep getting better and better. They are definitely one of the older companies in the business. I think they started in like 2002, and yeah, it doesn't look like much of a hookah right now, but it's fully taken apart. This is the Assassin stem, as you can see by their assassin logo on the heart of the hookah. But I'm going to go ahead and go over each individual piece, and then I'll show you kind of a close-up of each individual piece. So first off, you have the purge and the hose port area. This purge is very, very wide open, very simple, but I'm just going to set those off to the side. As I showed you earlier, this is the heart. As you can see, very wide open ports, but there's something definitely weird about that, and I'll show you that here in a second. Super heavy. This thing alone weighs at least 5 to 7 pounds. Like, it is heavy. Like, you can hear how heavy that is. This is just one of the stem covers, almost like how on the Executive you have the piece on the outside of the actual stem. So, just to give you, that's what it does. So, mainly for looks and I guess protection of the stem. Here's the stem. This isn't the down stem, but this is just the stem that goes from the bowl port down to the heart of the hookah. This is the down stem, or should I say one of the down stems. There's also a shorter one that is made for the sonic diffuser that Sahara Smoke makes, and that one it's just shorter because the down stem, or the diffuser, makes it longer so it doesn't hit the bottom of your vase. More cosmetic parts. This one, it goes up on here like that. Kind of reminds me of like a gun barrel with the holes drilled in it. Then of course you have the actual bowl port itself. I already have the grommet on it just to show you, but it's definitely a narrow in diameter bowl port. The tray, pretty, good tray. Not too flimsy, but it's definitely a little flimsy. Not really heavy at all, pretty light. But it's got a pretty cool surface to it that so far hasn't had any problems with holes or anything on it. Then you have this piece. This is actually the part that goes into the pipe, or the vase. Let me get it back out. I don't know why they did it like this exactly, but it actually goes, it gets screwed into the heart like that, which, what I was going to tell you earlier, it cuts off like half of the diameter of each of the purge and the hose port. I don't know why, but it hasn't really affected the draw at all, because it's still a fairly wide open draw, but I don't know, it's weird. And then of course, this is my beautiful vase that I got to select out myself. It might be small, but this thing is super heavy. Like, this is probably as heavy as Bohemian vases and stuff like that, of the same size, if not heavier. Like, Sahara Smoke is definitely known for their beautiful vases, and they have tons of different styles. Actually, I have another one that came with an old Sahara Smoke hookah of mine. This vase actually isn't made anymore. The only thing that sucks is I've actually used this hookah with this vase. With the bottleneck design, water gets sucked up very, very easily into the hose. So unfortunately, I don't like this design for this hookah, but it is definitely a really pretty vase. So I'm going to go ahead and assemble it, and as I assemble it, I'll show you a close-up of everything.
You're pretty hot, but price too high, and you got me like, oh, you love when I fall apart, so you can pull me together and throw me against the wall, and you got me like, don't you stop loving me, don't quit loving me, just start loving me. Oh, and babe, I fist fire just to get close to you. Can we burn something, babe? run for miles just to get a taste. Must be love on the brain that's got me feeling this way. It beats me black and nobody gets me so good, and I can't get enough. Must be love on the brain, and it keeps cursing my name. No matter what I do, I'm no good without you, and I can't get enough. Must be love on a brain. Then you keep loving me, just love me, just love me. All you gotta do is love me. You got me like I'm tired of being played like a violin. What do I gotta do to get it? To get inside your heart. You got me like don't you stop loving me, don't quit loving me, just start loving me. Ooh, babe, I fist fire with fire just to get close to you.
So, as you saw in that last clip, very easy to put together, very quick. I honestly wasn't even going that fast or anything. I think I know why they call this the assassin stem. That's because when putting this together, it really felt like putting together like a gun, especially with this end piece right here that has the holes drilled in it. It just reminded me of like assembling like a gun stock and stuff like that. Now, when picking a base for this hookah and really any hookah, I never really liked darker bases because you can't see the water line. But I got lucky when I got this because you can actually see where the water is in there. I don't know if the camera picks that up or not. But I got lucky, and this is definitely a gorgeous base, and it matches this hookah perfectly. Now, I want to first off thank Sahara Smoke for sending this to me and letting me, share my opinion on it. But there are a few things that I want to get out of the way first, things that I don't really care for that much. First off is you see that I'm using the Apple on Top Carbon 1 hose. That's because the hose that this came with is just, I don't like it, I'm sorry. I like that they finally switched to actual tubing, like silicone tubing, but they still have these wooden handles with the metal mount tip and just the wooden part that actually goes into the hookah. And if you see how thick this is down here compared to, say, the Apple on Top, you can see how much thicker it is. This hose port is actually made for something around this thickness, so it's a little tricky to keep the hose in there for some of these hoses. But yeah, I just don't care for these hoses. I've never really cared that much for the Sahara Smoke hoses. I know they have other kind of hoses that I haven't gotten to test out yet, but I just don't like that kind. That's just a personal preference. It's not that it has a bad draw or anything. It's just looks and feel of that. I don't know. Plus, I've always gotten like little, not metal, but wooden flakes, so I don't really like it. Second thing that I don't care for is the part that screws on to the heart to actually go into the base, how it cuts off half of each of the purge and the hose port. What that does is it creates a common chamber instead of a traditional chamber, like, say, the Executive. Let me get this out of here. Okay. So you see how they're side by side, but they're not sharing kind of like a little chamber. That's what's known as a traditional chamber. Now, this is a common chamber, and what that does is if you do get water buildup or condensation buildup in your hose and you go to purge, it'll actually shoot some of that water straight out the purge, and it creates almost this like weird flooding effect, and I don't care for it, and it also makes it a little bit harder to purge. But with this purge, they kind of eliminated that at least, because this purge is just amazing. It's super smooth, super wide open. It's really hard to tell with this base, and I doubt I'll be able to pick it up on camera, but you can see that it purges all the smoke out like almost instantly. Third thing that I really don't care for is how many separate parts there is. From what I've learned throughout my smoking career, or whatever you want to call it, is that the more pieces there are, the more opportunities there is for some kind of failure, some kind of something to mess up or get stripped or something like that. I haven't had that happen, and from what it looks like, all these pieces are very well machined. So, I mean, that's really my only complaints with this hookah. Other than that, it has a very nice open draw, but not something like super open like a glass hookah, so it's airy. But maybe when you have the longer down stem on it, it smokes more like the Executive, which is their traditional take with their modern hookahs. But when you have the shorter down stem on it that fits the diffuser, which unfortunately I do not have, it definitely opens up the draw a little bit more and becomes more of a modern hookah as far as the draw is concerned. As I mentioned earlier, coals, I've left them on here and they haven't affected the tray at all. This paint is very well, it's magnetic plated or whatever you want to call it. I can't think of the exact terminology, but this thing is freaking heavy. If you've ever gotten to hold this stem at all, and you know how heavy the Executive is, then you'd be very surprised to know that this is actually just as heavy, if not more heavy, which is really insane. So even if you get this hookah and for some reason you just don't like it, you can just keep it in the trunk of your car and, you know, use it as a weapon. So, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely super happy with it. It smokes like a dream. I've been smoking for like 10 minutes now. I'm smoking Famari White Peach, Famari Citrus Mint, and just a small pinch of Al-Waha Mango Lemonade, and using my fudge bowl with Provost and 2 cubes, the Cocoa Bricos, and yeah, I mean, it's just, so far this has been my daily driver ever since I got it. I've been using it non-stop. Cleaning is actually a really breeze with this, even though one of my concerns is how much it breaks down. With it breaking down like that, it's really easy to clean, and with this paint on it, or whatever you want to call it, the water just beads right off of it. I know Owen Barry, he was talking about how the water just beads off of it during cleaning, and it's awesome. Oh, I guess I should show you the purge. I mean, it's super effortless. I don't even really have to blow, like, not even trying, so that's really nice. So far, I mean, I don't really have too many big complaints. Most of it's just that cosmetic stuff, and then a few of it is the functionality when it comes to that traditional chamber. I almost wish the heart of the hookah wasn't quite as bulky as it is, because it kind of looks funny. But as far as a modern style hookah, modern looking hookah, it's definitely one of the nicest smoking ones that I've had in a while. So, yeah, I definitely want to thank Sahara Smoke for sending it out to me, and for hopefully taking in any of my concerns that they can. But yeah, as far as I know, this is only being sold on saharasmoke.com as of right now, and it's super cheap. I think it's like $75. I don't know if that includes base or anything, but it definitely... Oh, I didn't even talk about, which is really weird, but one of my favorite parts about this. I've been wanting these ever since I got to use Wade Hills. I've been wanting them, and they actually came with them. The Sahara Smoke Gladiator tongs. I don't know why, I just love them. They're pretty small, but they just look really cool. But they come with this hookah along with the hose, and if I'm not mistaken, either a Vortex bowl or one of their other bowls. I personally don't use the Vortex bowl. It's just not my style, but if it is, then you'll definitely be happy with that. So I'm going to get out of here, finish up my session, and enjoy my day off. So I'll see y'all later. And as you can see, puts out really nice clouds, but of course that's with the bowl packing and heat management.